Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to your Lunch Break Live. If you are new here, my name is Ivana Hurinkyu, and if you are coming back, thank you so much for coming back. Today is a big day, and that is because it is Election Day. It is Election Day in both Birmingham and in Mobile. Now, currently, I am in Birmingham. I am at a polling location that is the Highland Park Golf and Tennis Courts, and this is a polling location I voted at for a long time, so I'm familiar with it. I thought it would be good to show you what things looked like here and give you what you need to know about Election Day. So if you have questions about elections, about the races, let me know here in the comments and I will try to get them answered for you. You can see, though, again, I'm at the Highland Park Golf and Tennis Courts. This is a polling location for the city of Birmingham. The city of Birmingham today is voting for the races of mayor, City Council, and the Board of Education. Again, I'll get into that in just a minute. But you can see, again, behind me in about that way, that is where you go in to vote, and there is no lines here. Not very busy, so if you are looking for time to get out and vote in the city of Birmingham, this might be a perfect time. No lines, no wait here at this polling site, again at Highland Park. Parking lot is full, no lines though to wait. So I'm going to flip you around here in a minute, let you kind of look at the scene, and we're going to talk about the races. Again, if you have questions about these races, if you have questions about Election Day in general, drop them here in the comments and I will let you know. So first, we're going to start off with Mobile because that's where I am, and then we're going to talk about, Birmingham because that's where I am, and then we're going to talk about Mobile. You can find all of this information on AL.com throughout the day, and keep in mind our own John Sharp is going to be following the races in Mobile, and our own Greg Garrison and Roy Johnson is going to be following the races here in Birmingham tonight. So let's flip you around so I can read off some of this information to you and I can look through your questions. So first of all, in Birmingham, now keep in mind, polls are open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., both in Mobile and in Birmingham. So today, Birmingham voters are going to the polls to elect a mayor, people for the City Council, and for the Board of Education. Now, Birmingham Mayor Randall Woodfin is up for re-election on the ballot. There are 7 people who are challenging the mayor. Now, those people are former Mayor William Bell. If you'll remember, former Mayor Bell and current Mayor Woodfin actually went into a runoff in 2017, but he is trying his shot again, running for mayor, a position he held for a long time. Other contenders include Jefferson County Commissioner LaShonda Scales, contractor Chris Woods, Philemon Hill, Darrell Williams, Sarissa Brown, Napoleon Gonzalez, and also, I mentioned LaShonda Scales. So there are 7 people challenging the mayor, Randall Woodfin, for this position. Now, again, Bell and Woodfin went into a runoff in 2017. A lot of people saying, could that happen again? So here's what you need to know about a runoff. Now, runoffs happen when a candidate cannot win over 50% plus 1 of the vote. So what I mean by 50% plus 1 is to avoid a runoff, a candidate needs to win 50% of the vote plus 1 vote. Not 51%, but 50% plus 1 vote. That's how you avoid a runoff. A lot of challengers here today, which makes it difficult to avoid a runoff. So we will not know that again until tonight, but that's the runoff rules. Now, another question that I have heard from several people is who is a Democrat and who's a Republican, or vote blue, vote red, vote whatever color. So let me go ahead and quickly kind of set the record straight on that one. And that is, this is a municipal election in Birmingham, in Mobile. And that means that these elections are not run based on party lines. These races are run for the candidate. So you might know who is registered as a Democrat, as a Republican, as an independent, if they tell you that. But these races are not run based on party. That means there's not a primary, and then you will not have 2 candidates from opposing parties in a general election. This is the election. It is a municipal election. There are no party lines. So that goes for the city council races, that goes for the mayoral races, etc. So again, no party lines here. This is just voting for your candidate. So again, flip this around so I can answer questions and you don't have to stare too closely at my face here. questions about masks. I believe that it's going to depend on your location and your city. I do not believe that masks are required at this location. There is no city ordinance requiring masks. There's no county ordinance requiring masks or a statewide order requiring masks. So it doesn't look like masks are required here. Looks like a lot of people who are going in are wearing masks, and they might be encouraging it, but I do not believe it is required. If I were you, I would keep one in your car just in case, because polling places might be different in that regard. So let's talk for a second about Mobile. Now, also, I'm keeping this here. You can see in this area, right kind of behind that truck, that is where the entrance to this polling location is. So you can see, again, no lines here. It's a busy parking lot, but remember, this is not only a polling place, this is also a golf club and a tennis club as well. So people can be doing those things as well, and maybe not just to vote. So don't let the full parking lot fool you. I've got Dorothy saying voter turnout was low around 8:15 at Girls Inc., which was, I'm assuming, her polling place or where she was. And I don't actually have those numbers of voter turnout from the 2017 race in front of me. I know that we have those online and I can get those for you. But traditionally, these races do not have a huge turnout. You can see here, no lines. I found a parking spot pretty easily. So if you're waiting on the rush to die down so you can come vote, there is not a rush here. And according to some of these viewers who have voted at other locations, not a rush at their polling place either. So let's talk Mobile. Now, I am obviously not in Mobile. Our own John Sharp is covering that race in Mobile, but here's what we know about Mobile. And they are also voting for mayor and for city council. They are not voting for a Board of Education race, but they are voting mayor and city council. Again, Mobile's race is not a party race. It's a municipal race. You vote for the candidate. You don't vote for the party. There is no primary and then a general with two or more candidates in opposing parties. These municipal races are not run based on party lines. They are just run for the candidate. So in Mobile, we have the incumbent, Mayor Standy Simpson. He is running for his third term in office. There are 4 other people running against the mayor. So also a big race there, not quite as big as Birmingham, but it is a big race there. Same rules with runoff. Pertaining to runoffs, I should say. If you are a candidate, you need to win 50% of the vote plus 1 vote. Not 51%, but 50% plus 1 in order to avoid a runoff. I don't have the runoff date in front of me. I believe it is in maybe 6 weeks or so. It might not be that far. I will get that for you. So if we are in that situation, then you will have all that information. Somebody saying they'd love to play tennis today. There's actually a good amount of people here playing golf. I can't really see on the tennis courts, but it is a pretty, it's probably equally as busy on the courts as it is for the polling location, which you can take your pick on your thoughts there. But again, let me just give you a look. If you're trying to come out and vote, you are not going to be faced with a big crowd, at least here. There are poll workers outside, people from campaigns outside. There is a rule they have to stay a certain amount from the door. So if you see some of those people in those tents, that's why. There's even somebody who had a little station set up here. They have to stay a certain amount away from those, from the actual polling location. They can't actually be right at the door. Now, a couple other things to note here. I've got somebody saying runoff is October 5th in Mobile. Yes, that is right, October 5th. Thank you so much for that. I didn't have it in front of me, so I appreciate you dropping that in here. So people have, again, asked about the likelihoods of runoffs. Hard to tell. Elections are always hard to predict, things like that. But it is, I think it's fair to say, when you have a race that is as crowded as the Birmingham race and even the Mobile race, you have a higher chance at having a runoff because the more people who are running, the harder it is to get 50% plus 1 of the vote. So I'm just coming down to the bottom of the hill here, and you can see all of the campaign signs. There's definitely a lot more campaign signs for Mayor Randall Woodfin. He is trying to keep on that seat. So Sandra says, who's running in Birmingham? So Sandra, this is who's running in Birmingham. Incumbent Mayor Randall Woodfin. Former Mayor William Bell, if you'll remember, he and Woodfin went into a runoff in 2017. Woodfin did ultimately win that runoff. So it is Woodfin, former Mayor Bell, Chris Woods, Philemon Hill, Jefferson County Commissioner LaShonda Scales, Darrell Williams, Sarissa Brown, and Napoleon Gonzalez. So If you have been keeping up with this race, you might know that we, along with several other media organizations, hosted a mayoral debate. I will make sure we leave a link here so you can go watch that video if you're interested. And we had all those candidates, except for Mr. Gonzalez, who had some technical difficulties. We had all of them show up at that debate and voice their thoughts on different things. Now, if you see some of these names that are not for mayor, some of these names are for city council. The polling place that I'm in is in Council District 3. So that's why you see some of these names and not others that are running for council districts, because you have to live in that district in order to vote for that councilor. In Mobile, you are also voting for council and mayor. You're just not voting for Board of Education. So if you need to find sample ballots, if you need to know more about your candidates, etc., you can find all of that on AL.com. But again, you can see I'm coming up the hill. Coming in from behind me, there is no traffic here, no lines, easy parking here at this location. Doesn't look like they are that busy. So if you need to vote, go ahead and get out here and vote in Birmingham and in Mobile. We will have all of the information you need on AL.com for your sample ballots and for everybody who needs to learn about those races. And then we'll have your results tonight. Remember, polls close at 7 p.m. So everybody, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow.